Well, good afternoon. It's going to be a bit of a different stream today. Got some random stuff going on. Steven, how's it going, man? How are you on this fine Saturday? We got a few things going. How's the Rage Rabbit carrot feeder build going for you? So, got in the middle of a couple things. So, I've got to finish. Got one last print left to do with this Fibron pps-cf. It's probably not going to pick it up because of the noise cancellation, but we've got a whole box of parts, and this stuff just tings like it's metal. Stuff is crazy. Anyway, so I got one last print to do. For the 2.4 rebuild, we're gonna do the gantry and part of the toolhead stuff with this pps-cf filament. So we're gonna get that started. I've already got it sliced. My AI tracking has failed me again. Hello, AI tracking. What are you doing, you jackass? Took a pause while they released update files. Been printing for a Godzilla model. Nice. Didn't you do like a model a year or two ago that was like a Gundam or something? You did something that was like that. So this pps-cf stuff is absolutely crazy. Like I said, one, it sounds like metal when you print it. Yeah, 18 inches tall. Yeah. Was it a Gundam? Prints at 350-degree hot end temp. So you got to have a PT-1000 thermistor to even print the thing. Yeah. So anyway, we're kind of in the middle of stuff. I got the Micron back up and going. Been running some prints off on it today. The Night Owl is not hooked up yet because I need a Molex 4x1 with the little prongs to attach to be able to hook up the buffer for it, and I'm gonna print a mod for the buffer. It got disappeared. Man, yeah. So I've been printing it. I was printing toolhead parts for the arch type toolhead. the printer's going to have the arch type tool head by NX Engineering, the Blackbird version of it. And so I had a whole plate of parts going, and got a hot end jam and lost like 40 grams of this stuff, and at a price of like $70 for half a kilo. That's an expensive fail. So I've been printing them one part at a time. That way, if I have a fail, I don't lose a whole plate of parts. I lose one part. But this stuff is nice. I've got the print settings. I posted them up in West 3D Discord. But yeah, so anyway, shout out to Polymaker for sending this stuff over to me. We're going to do some testing to see how the input shaping results compare from printed version to, well, printed ABS version over to this pps-cf, because this stuff is stiff, boy, stiff. So yeah, they sponsored this filament. I should probably put their logo up on stream here. Let me do that. So if I add an image, let's see, we'll call this Polymaker. Okay, let's see, browse, let's go over here, green stuff, Polymaker logos, Fiberon PNG. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Collie, how are you today? The nozzle that's in here that I'm using to print this is one of the West 3D Undertaker nozzles. It is a 0.4. It's not a hiccup, man. I've got two of their nozzles. The Undertaker, the 0.4 that's in the Trident, has been running in there. I built that Trident with that nozzle, so it's been running in there for 1.5 years. Well, hey, man, discount code's a discount code. That's awesome. Yeah, it was really nice of them to sponsor. I really appreciate it. We're going to do some testing. There'll be a video that comes out on it. Yeah, it was really nice of them. So we've got that coming up. We're going to be changing out the skirts that are on there. It's going to get an aesthetic facelift to the 2.4. That thing's been running for close to 3 years now. It's time. We're going to be building another switch wire. LDO was nice enough to sponsor the filament for that. So shout out to LDO for helping out with the filament on that. Oh, we lost one. It fell. Oh, Lord. Yep. So, it's staring at you. Yeah, so Here's what we've got. Just stop the AI tracking. Let's zoom out. There we go. So we're going to build the switch wire with this stardust gray. It's a sparkle filament, and then the LDO dark teal, which is just an absolutely beautiful filament. There we go. We put some light on the subject. There. Maybe you can see the stardust better now with the light too. Yeah, that's a really nice gray. It's I'd say it's a little bit lighter than the Polymaker dark gray, Galaxy dark gray. So that's awesome. Trying to reach out and talk to some other folks about helping out with projects, because after I've got the enclosure coming for the box turtle, the 2.4 rebuild, and the switch wire build, and I still need a couple things for both of those. But after that, I'm just like out of stuff and out of funding to do it. So trying to find stuff to be able to continue this channel, because it doesn't generate any money. If you would like to support, there's a link in the description for a Patreon and tips. Do feel free. Anyway, so today we've got Steve Clark. How's it going? So today we're going to print that last part. We are going to look at some box turtle tuning. There's a lot of people that just have some issues with getting their box turtle tuned and whatnot. So we're going to go through the process of how to tune your box turtle when you build it. Steven, this is also going to apply for you with the Enraged Rabbit carrot feeder. The settings are going to be in different places, but they're still the same settings that you're going to want to look at when you're doing your Enraged Rabbit carrot feeder. That'll get cut out of this video and made into a standalone video for people down the line. But also, we are going to finish the project that I started, which is putting new blade on the lawnmower. And we're going to get my smoker going, because we're going to get that ready for dinner. So get our smoker primed. Hold on a second. So we'll get that going. Yeah, just some random stuff. It's actually going to be random projects in Dad's garage today. Kegel, how are you today, sir? Appreciate you stopping by. I haven't looked online. Is there anybody put out any good videos from Rocky Mountain today? So one thing that I've noticed, so this Fibron stuff is stiff and it's fragile. So it does not feed through the box turtle, and it does not feed through the bypass because the bypass curves too tight, and it won't feed through it. So I've got to have a piece of filament stuffed into the bypass to activate it, and then just fed through PTFE tube all the way to the tool head. Yeah, barbecue in Dad's garage. Well, the barbecue's right outside the garage, but yeah. We're going to make some smoked chicken breasts and throw some hot dogs on there for the kids. Maybe. This thing lights up. Anyway, well, we'll give it a minute. So the smoker actually got, my boss at work had 3 of them, and we got to talking about food and stuff, and he's like, I got an extra one, you can have it. So he hooked me up with this Pit Boss. It's been fantastic. Painting doors. I did see that Zombie was live. I jumped on there, but it was acting weird on my computer. So I didn't. I ended up clicking off of it. Anyway, so that's that last part printing on that. I printed some little accent parts. So the 2.4 has always been been called black sails, but the parts on it are black and blue. So we're doing changing it over to black and red. So this is the that Cardavon, West 3D's Cardavon. These little accent pieces go inside the front of your beefy front idlers. So you get, it doesn't want to really show that. Plus it's a dark color, but then you color your Voron logo. Yeah, she go now. I see some flames shooting up through there. I'm going to go move that plate over. All that stuff. Let's yeah. Maybe later. You want it so you off of there so you can play basketball? All right. There we go. Get this closed. Let that get heated up. I gotta go move this trampoline. I'll be right back. All right. All right, I'm on the trampoline. All right. So there's that. Now, I got a replacement lawnmower blade, but these little holes right here, well, they're a little bit too narrow for the alignment things. So I need to take and cut those out a little bit. So gonna get the Dremel going, grind these out a little bit so that I can get this lawnmower blade on. There we go. This one's stuck on here. Oh, that's relatively annoying. So the little sanding thing is stuck onto here. I think it's just because the ends are kind of folded over. All right, I'll just cut that off. There's y'all probably know this, but there's like a little rubber part in there that kind of expands out against those sleeves and the sanding drums. And it just kind of stuck on there and not wanting to go anywhere. Get on there. I think the rubber piece is just kind of deformed is what I think the problem is. So, Steven, are you you're coming the Murph, right? You're what? No, I'm not digging out your pink thing. I'm not. I'm not. You can play with what's out over there. I'm not digging anything else out right now. Grab it off of there. So, if you didn't notice, I look a little different because I'm wearing glasses. Because Wednesday, I woke up and my eye was all red and hurt, and there was like a little bubble on the side of my eye, in the whites of my eye. Finally went to the doctor yesterday, and somehow I managed to scratch the crap out of the side of my eye. I have no idea how. So it's infected. I got antibiotic eye drops, which I've forgotten to put back in again. And yeah, so can't wear contacts right now, so I've got to wear my glasses. And I'm not used to them anymore because I've been wearing contacts for like 8 years, 9 years, something like that. So yeah, it's irritating. Hurts a lot. I have to rig something out and try putting the Minion toolhead plate in that filament. Oh, is there like a CNC plate that's supposed to mount the Minion toolhead? Shrimp Father, how are you today, Martin? I don't know how well this is going to work. I don't really know of another good way of cutting this. But that just ate right through that in like seconds. That's not big enough. Something tells me these step bits aren't going to work. Well, it says it'll cut through steel. Guess we'll find out. Worst comes to worst, they're just cheapy Harbor Freight ones, right? That is not going to work. They just kind of go down in there and it's just going to lock in there. That's going to end up breaking my wrist. Anybody got any ideas? Because I don't have any. Idea is to cut this hole slightly wider. Oh, fuck, Steven. Yeah. See if there's a drill bit that I have two of. Well, this is a 13 millimeter. That just about do it. Still likely to break my wrist though. Oh well. Put it in the vise. Move the keyboard out of the way. And try to drill that out. That's about as big as this drill will take. I don't know if it would take a bigger bit. Shit, that hurt. Pulled my hand straight into the vise. Yeah. I don't know. The noise canceling's dealing with that, and I'm sorry. I do, Collie. Oh. Why they couldn't just make the stupid locking pins on this, you know, a circle is beyond me. They had to make them this weird oblong oval. So you guys have any ideas for some cool, fun stuff for the 2.4 rebuild? I found some skirts that are like the cheese grater skirts on the Trident. Oh, crap. That's right. So this thing pauses because of the fact that it's got a bypass in it, and part of my print start macro tells it to load the right tool. Nice. Yeah, tuning and dialing is not the most fun and glamorous part of 3D printing, but it is something that is necessary. Blade, harder than Harbor Freight sheet file. Uh, well, guess we'll just leave the old blade on there. Yes. Anyway, so let's pack this up. And then let's take a look at the tuning for box turtles and such. Martin, are you having to work today? Or did you get your schedule changed back around? This was one of my reverse drill bits. Always nice to destroy expensive drill bits. All right. I think we're good to put some chicken on here. Let me go grab the chicken real quick, folks. And I'll be right back. All right. We've got chickens. There we go. All right, so grab my chair. Let's come over here. Take a look at our monitor. And let's image existing point. Whoa. We'll stick them right there in the middle. All right. So yeah, probably would, Steven. What I might do is just file that down flat and then drill and tap it so I can put 2 little bolts just stick out of it, and then that could be the hold it in place. Anyway, so here we go. This is the AFC, and in here, I don't know if there's a way I can make this bigger or not. Settings. UI settings. Trying to see if I can adjust the size of the text. I don't see a way to do that. Anyway, so if you go into hardware, you've got tool STN. Inside it says distance in millimeters from the tool head sensor to the tip of the nozzle in millimeters. So that I run 2 sensors, so that you've got a total distance between the tip of your nozzle and that sensor when the filament comes through your extruder and hits that sensor. That is what it's telling you to put here. If you do, you're going to have a crap ton of material push out of that nozzle every time you change filaments and load anything. So that number, get a rough measurement of the distance from your nozzle to that tool head sensor. I like to just grab one of these pocket scales and measure it. You're just trying to get it close. Now for mine here, it's 25 millimeters. You need that to be that distance minus so in your macros variable, you've got let me find the right one. You've got variable retract length, which is the amount that it retracts your filament before it cuts it, to minimize the amount of material that you're purging out. Now, the measurement that you need is the measurement from your cutter to your nozzle. So you're going to take that and you're going to subtract. So let's say that is 50 millimeters. You're going to take 50, subtract 25 for, like in my case, 25, because I'm pulling back 25 millimeters and then cutting. And that'll leave 25 millimeters left in the tool head. I think mine's actually right around 60 or so. And then you've got variable pushback length. So what it'll do is when it goes to cut, before it cuts, it'll retract the filament. By the variable retract length, which on mine's 25 millimeters, it'll cut. And then it'll take and push back down. I've got it set to 20 millimeters. Command Z, Command plus. Command plus. Hey, there you go. Excellent. So right here, variable retract length. Thank you very much, colleague. So variable retract length, 25 millimeters. What that's doing is, I should probably pull up like a notes thing. New note. So step one is it is going to be retracting by the variable retract. So variable retract length, right? Step two is it's going to cut. This is pain in the ass. That ain't gonna work either. Anyway, step two, it's going to cut. After it cuts, it's going to come down here, variable pushback length. It's going to push that filament back in. You want that to be less than the amount that you retracted. If you make this 25, it's going to ooze out. So I've got it 5 millimeters less than what I cut. So it's not going to push it all the way back down to the tip of the nozzle. And then it's going to go back and it's going to pull the length out, and it's going to load your new filament in. And that's where, here in your hardware, tool STN, it's going to move this far past the sensor underneath of your extruder, that far. So it's going to load 25 millimeters after it hits that tool head sensor. And if you're getting material pushed out of your tool head when it out of your nozzle when it loads a new filament, back tool STN off. Keep back back it off 5 millimeters at a time until it stops oozing material and pushing material out when you've loaded the next round of filament. But if you go too far, then you end up with a situation when it goes to do your pooping that, and so here, when it goes to poop, it won't get material squished down onto the build plate enough to actually hold it on. So you've got your purge speed. If you're not getting material pushed out fast enough to stick it to the plate, increase the speed a little bit. You can also lower the variable purge start. This is the height above your build plate that it starts purging at. So if it's starting and it's too far away from the bed to actually get the material to stick down to the bed, lower this variable purge start. But like I said, if you have that load too little and it's got to make up, 10, 15, 20 millimeters before it starts actually putting material out that nozzle, it's going to be a problem. So you've got to balance how far it loads your filament so that it doesn't ooze material out the nozzle when it's loading, and also your not having too little so that when it goes to poop that it doesn't stick to the bed. You can adjust if you're not getting good color changes. You can modify the minimum that it purges out. You want that to be at least enough to cover the material that was in the tool head after you cut it, plus some. You do not want to retract it too far because you won't get good cuts if you retract it too far, and you can also end up with jams in your cold side. And if you do not do your pushback length far enough, you'll end up with jams in your cold side. So you've got to get that cut and push back in before that material has a chance to cool down completely. Otherwise, it will not go back in. Some hot ends are worse than others for that. I had a huge issue with the Dragon High Flow because of just the way that cold side and the insulator is. It would jam all the time. Also, if you're printing silk kind of tends to bubble up and get really sticky and jam in there. So that's what I would do. I would start by setting measure your the distance between your blade and your nozzle. Subtract off the amount that you're cutting, so your variable retract length. So again, if you've got, let's say, 60 millimeter between your the tip of your nozzle and your blade, minus, I think the variable retract length standard is 20. So then you've got 40 millimeters worth of filament left in there. Your then your pushback, make it just a little bit less than your retraction, and then your tool load distance, start off by making that the same as how much you retracted and go from there. Tool STN equal to your retraction distance, and then your your pushback slightly less. So that was a horrible tutorial. Now we all know why I'm not a presenter for presentations or whatever. Oh, I could zoom that to that actually fit in there. That's nice. Excellent. Oh, so if any of you guys have a box turtle, this that you get after you've gotten your cereal is actually now, if you go over to the Armor Turtle GitHub, you go into repositories, there's a clipper screen add-on now. And it takes and puts that on your screen. So this is what your clipper screen will look like. For all your different lane controls. And then you got filament configuration, tell you your sensor status for all your different sensors, allow you to load, unload, do movements for your filament. It is pretty sweet. Hey, Poity. So yeah, that's available now. That's nice. It's arguably easier to control it now with this than it is in Mainsail. Also, that theme, this box turtle theme, is available. But okay, so for your clipper screen, you're just going to run this command here, and add this include afc_menu.config to your printer config, and then put this in your Moonraker for updates. It's simple. It took me less than 2 minutes to do, and it is real nice. Also, there is the Mainsail thing is now public too, I guess. I don't know. Oh no, this isn't the same one. But anyway, there's themes. So that's a pretty simple install. And then see if there's anyway. So there's this theme that I have, and then a Christmas one too. So that's on there. I was just digging around and noticed it. So Happy Hair has a Happy Hair clipper screen. Steven, it is nice. It works really well too. So their clipper screen interface is really nice, and really robust and feature complete. If you're wanting to control your ERCF, you're going to do it from that Happy Hair clipper screen. So yeah, so that's where we got there. What was I going to do? Oh yeah, I need to switch out filaments. Oh yes. So let's unload this. Get some black loaded back in there. Yeah, probably tapping this out would probably be my best bet. Putting 2 bolts in there. Loctiting the shit out of them. But we're not going to do that right now. We're just going to put this other blade back on. Let's check this chicken. Dun, dun, dun. You know, I was going to change the oil on this lawnmower. And funny enough, it does not plug on the bottom of this motor. I have never seen that in my life. I do not know how they want you to drain the oil out of this thing if it doesn't have a drain plug. I had to put the blade back on there. So I redid all the airlines in my shop the other day. Well, I didn't redo all the airlines. I redid the distribution manifold. And now I don't have any leaks. It holds pressure for weeks. Yeah. Every small engine I've ever seen in my life has a drain plug for the oil. Nothing. So I don't know if they want you to like tilt it, drain it out through this freaking fill hole or something. I don't know what they expect you to do for that. But I think that's a rather large oversight. I do fluid on sealed transmission. Yeah. I mean, I bought the lawnmower when I bought the house in 2020, but I only mowed the grass once because we moved in October. Um, so 21, 22, 23, 24. So it's been run for 4 seasons on that oil. I've not even had to top it off. It looks pretty decent actually. It doesn't look too bad. I guess you mow the grass I don't know, what, 15, maybe 20 times in a season, if that. And then it's getting run for like an hour, hour and a half each time. So that's still like what, like maybe 150 run hours on that motor with the oil that's in it. Oh. Yeah, you got, I mean, Indiana, Ohio, we're pretty much in the same boat. Normal. So for me, I normally have to mow it from mid-May to end of June. Then it is burnt from the beginning of July to mid-August, and I don't have to do anything with it. And then mow it for second half of August and September, and then maybe once more in October. Oh, my hands are not working. So I switched out tap on this Micron and switched over to clicky. And before I was having a crap ton of issues with getting the QGL to finish correctly, and Z offset kind of shifting around and stuff like that. Now, no issues whatsoever with clicky. All right. Our print is done. So let's disable our steppers. Get our filament unloaded. Now, I'm curious. Hey, Smalls, can you bring me out the tongs for the barbecue?
Yeah. Also, here's an egg.
I do not want a Cadbury cream egg, but thank you.
Okay. Also, have you taken your midday medicine?
I have not.
Go take it.
All right, so the spool itself is 175 grams. So we've got 134 grams left of the pps-cf. Hey Siri, what's 500 minus 134? Siri, you're a fucking idiot. Hey Siri, what is 500 minus 134? So I used 366 grams of this, printing the parts for this gantry and tool head. This is not the right bag. So, let's see. How much is this stuff now that the tariffs? New window. us.polymaker.com. So if you're interested in picking up any of this filament, there is a link in the description. It is not an affiliate link. I do not make any money off of it. But go check it out. It's pretty cool filament. They've got a lot of other stuff too. So, they offer it in a 3 kilogram spool for $330. So 76.99 divided by 500. So just over 15 cents a gram times 366. So to print the gantry, the tool head, and the gantry is the AB motor mounts, the XY motor, the XY gantry mounts, the beefy front idler parts, the carriage mount for the arch type, the fan mount, which is also your hot end mount, and the ducts, as well as the Z drag chain mount. All that cost me, and we lost like 40 grams in a failed print, so cost me $56 to print that. So on the back of Kali, on the back of mine, it comes out of the back of the box turtle hub immediately into the turtleneck buffer, out of the turtleneck buffer into the bypass, out of the bypass to the tool head. So if I'm running filament from the mount on the side, it goes through that bypass and then to the tool head. It never, filament that I load manually is never going through the turtleneck. Yeah, I could see that being an issue, Stephen. Yeah, I've never had it be an issue, but I could see how that could be. I mean, most people wire it up so that it, the open close stuff. So that if it doesn't attach or make a good connection, it thinks that it's triggered. Speaking of which, we need to heat this hot end back up and purge out this material. Now, I said it before on another stream, but if you, the softening point for pps-cf is at like 310C. So if you tried to print ABS behind this without purging this material out, you would have a real bad day because it would not go anywhere. It'd just be a hard jam. I don't want this stuff coming out of my nozzle and going onto the bed at that temp. Normally I have like scrap stuff sitting around, but I just kind of purge it out onto, but I don't right now. So I need something to put underneath of this that I can purge onto. Paper towel. So anyway, you can do this with some ABS. I've got some purge material here that I'm using. Just heat it up, push all that material out. You know what would probably work good because it's sticky as hell is some clear PETG. Most people have it sitting around for doing diffusers and stuff. So anyway, heat it up, purge it out till it's all out of there, and keep purging, and then let it cool down. I like this purge material because you can heat it up super high and it doesn't burn, and it starts extruding at a really low temperature, and it kind of puffs up as it goes through, so it does a really good job of pulling material along with it, getting everything out of there, melting a little bit higher in your hot end than like ABS would, or even PETG. Steven, I don't know if I'm going to anneal it or not. So when you anneal it, it gets harder, but it also gets more brittle. And just the direction of the stresses that are put on it, it might perform better with it not being annealed. But I did finally manage to get myself a toaster oven so I can anneal it, should I choose to. I had been checking in Goodwill because I'm not going to pay full price for a freaking toaster oven. Yeah, I'd been checking and checking. They didn't have any. Finally, I went in there this week and they had one for $6. Way better than paying like $50 for one in Walmart. Yeah. You know, it's not a lab oven, but it's 1/100th the price of a lab oven. And it goes, the lowest temperature setting is 250°C, which is right around the temperature that I need to anneal it at. So, call that good enough. You know, what's hilarious is most people talk about getting, you know, a toaster oven and whatnot because their old lady doesn't want them putting printed parts in the oven to anneal them. You know, the lady's like, why don't you just use the oven? I'm like, I don't want to put plastic in an oven that I cook food in. She's like, what does it matter? It's not going to melt in there. So while everybody, I have the opposite issue that everybody else has. I need to go grab tongs real quick. I'll be right back. Please stand by. We're back. We got grill stuff. All right, hold on a minute. Get some seasoning on this chicken because I forgot to season it before it went on. Got some smokehouse maple seasoning from McCormick. Oh, every time I pull this thing out, it doesn't matter if it's forecasted to rain or not. It rains on me. I know I'm Native American, but I don't think my smoker should be my rain dance. So let me get this all hooked back up. Pull out my piece of filament I had tripping the bypass. Plug that back in. Yeah, box turtle's all hooked back up. I really need a step ladder. Our last part. I thought I had everything printed, and then I was like, oh yeah, I need to print the XY joints. Oh, you know what? I want to take a look at this real quick. So, Fabrico flash sale. Mhm. Mhm. Fabrico has a flash sale going on. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, Porty. You could have come up, had some barbecue chicken. Filling it. And, and can we use multiples? FABREEKO10. Makermind Nexus, how are you today, sir? Yeah, appreciate you stopping by. Right now I'm looking at Fabrico sales. So I apologize for you know. Check code. Mm-hmm. Oh, what did I get pinged for over here? Dun, dun. Oh, I gotta go. Steven, you sent me a message. Yeah, it's a tool plate for the Minion. Let's take a look at what it looks like. Let's go over here. Let's grab. So this is the buffer that I was printing. It gets a little 3mm spring put in it to automatically retract that. So yeah, I could see this being an issue. Yeah, I mean, definitely worth a try. What would a it'd be 13 grams if you did it in Fibron, pps-cf. Stuff is stiff. It doesn't, there's no movement to this at all. It is legit as hard to bend as it would be to bend steel. Yeah. And then worst comes to worst, still got a roll of it to print other stuff. So it's not like if it didn't work, it would be a waste. I'd give it a try. Even if you turn the how many layers is this? 15 layers. Even if you turn the infill, oh, that's not the right thing. Hold on. So if you did this in Voron specs, 40% infill, you're looking at just under 14 grams. If you did it at 100% infill, you're looking at 15 grams. Jesus, Richard. That's going to be a one hardcore death racer. You ain't going to be breaking anything. So chamber temps don't matter. You could technically print that open air. So it's not like it needs crazy chamber temps. I print it enclosed. It doesn't care if it's enclosed, but you don't have to have it enclosed. So this is where it's weird. So this is on my printing it on my Trident. So the density on this is crazy high. It's 1.29. Nozzle temp of 350, bed temp 110. I've got the volumetric flow limited down to 15. Cooling though. No cooling for the first 3. Minimum fan speed 0 for a layer time. Anything with a layer time over 4 seconds gets no fan speed. 30% fan if the layer time is under 2 seconds. And then for overhangs and bridges, fan speed of 40. And then overhang cooling threshold 0. Basically, it never runs the fan. Never runs any cooling at all. And then retract length 4 millimeters with a retraction speed of 40. Normally the retraction that I run, I think, is 0.4 for the Trident, and it's cranked way up to 4. So on Trident, discard. Retraction length is normally 0.4, and we're running it at 4 millimeter retract length. And the retraction speed's a little higher. So that's the settings I'm using. I got those from Scott over at Edge of 3D. He's been doing a lot of testing with the stuff. And I was talking to him on Jerry's stream a couple weeks ago, and that's what he was using for his. That's what I've been using for mine. Printed all those parts, no problem. Down Undermaker, how are you today, sir? How's that box turtle running? Yeah, so I'm running this through a Rapido Ultra High Flow with the Undertaker tungsten nozzle. No idea why you're awake? Well, I get it. I have a hard time sleeping. Need to adjust one more respooler. What's wrong with it? I had an issue with one of my respoolers. It was pushed in a little bit tighter to the thing than should be, and it was kind of having difficulty. No.
Okay, let me show you the hand that doesn't have a big nail on it.
You got those at the dollar store?
Yeah.
They look pretty.
Don't mind the glue. No, it got stuck.
Down Undermaker, did you end up using that hub that I have posted, or did you use the stock hub in yours? The LDO 8mm shafts are longer than the originals in my batch by just 1.3. I don't think them being longer is going to be an issue. So, I think I sent you a link to it, but over on printables. So, I was having issues with lane 4. Oh, the wheels rub on the trays? Oh. Yeah, that would be a problem. That's weird because I didn't. I've got about 1mm to 1.5mm of clearance on either side of my trays and the respooler wheels. Yes, Smalls.
Do you like Tootsie Rolls?
Yes.
Would you eat the Tootsie Roll lollipops and the Tootsie Rolls?
Probably if they're chocolate.
Yeah, they are.
If the lollipops are chocolate,
well, the outside isn't chocolate.
then I won't eat it now.
Okay. Also, I was wondering if I finished my chores, I could go to the grocery. Just to see how it would go.
So here's, no, I already answered that question earlier today. So here's the top one here is the Box Turtle standard hub. This is lane 4. What I found is that when filament comes loaded in through here, comes and then hits into this wall right here where the bearing sits for the switch. Pushes the bearing up out of the way, actuates the switch, and then runs into this wall right here. So we redesigned it to add some length in here so it'll come in and curve up and curve away from that wall and then out through the hub, and has fixed the lane 4 issue for myself and many others. Got a bunch of people that have made it, and 111, 118. Yeah, I guess you could, if you wear that away enough, it would fix the issue. Also, if you're using the Filomatrix, I have a little mod for the cutting arm where to the depressor, it adds a little magnet and a little grub screw into the arm for the cutter to aid in pulling this back out, because the amount of spring that you can have with the spring being way down here, it does not like to push that out sometimes. So I've got a little mod for that if you need that. Yeah. It took the cutting reliability on the switch wire with the Enraged Rabbit carrot feeder. I kept having that cutter jam, and then it goes to put the filament in, and the blade's in the way. So it's like, all right, I messed with springs forever. I'm like, how can I get this done? So I just added a magnet and a grub screw. And I've run thousands of swaps since and never had an issue. Yeah, I mean, if it works, it works. But I found that I had an issue. So I made that and shared it out. So let's check on the chicken. Might be about time to add some barbecue sauce and some hot dogs. An army of clowns.
30. Or have 90. So we have 92. Have 92. We can feed up for all.
Oh my goodness.
Have that one.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh! I thought you were a clown. All right. I do. I think you may have overloaded this with how many are in here, Zip. That's 13 in there. You could probably fit like 10. No, I'm doing the stream thing. You want to go ask mommy for the hot dogs so we can put some hot dogs on? No, I'll play here in a little bit. Anyway, so let's take a look. Let's go take a look at these skirts that I found for the 2.4. What is going on over here? Maybe. Orchesizer decides to run, right? Force quit. Oh, this is not good. Yeah. All my stuff is gone. That's not good. That's not good at all. It would really suck to lose all my profiles and everything. I've got them backed up to GitHub, but when I tried to restore them recently, they did not work right. Application not respond. Well, my printers are here. None of my filament profiles are. Settings. So we have lost all of my filament profiles. Yeah, I don't know why it takes so long for them to update when I switch screens. It's a Stream Elements thing. Still not pulling in my filament presets. File, import, figs. These are all the print profiles. Why does it not have any of my filament profiles? That's not good, folks. That's not good. I don't know what model it thinks it's trying to freaking load. Any of you have any idea why filament profiles not want to come in? No? Alright. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab my other computer. Alright. Go away. Go away. Not on there either. Let me go grab one more computer and see if my configs are on. All right. I think the issue is that all of that stuff was made on the filament profile Voron generic. So let me try. So it's a Rapido 2 ultra high flow with the new block that they're sending out to folks um, when they're switching out for the thermistor issue. Yeah. I'm going to have to recreate all of my profiles for filament. Motherfucker. Because Voron generic no longer exists for filament. And all of them were created from Voron generic for filament. File. Well, hold on. Because I've got an old version of Orca Slicer over here. It let me import it. Yeah, he did. Um, so I need a freaking mouse. I need a mouse. So the issue is in Orca Slicer, when you had the printer profile for Vorons, there used to be a Voron generic filament profiles for ABS and the like. They no longer exist. So it can't import configs based on a filament profile that no longer exists. I just lost the link to this. I know what you will call it. There's a freaking mouse. I'm so irritated right now. So if I can get this to freaking scroll. I'll show you. So over here, I don't know what light is shining on here. So under filaments, system presets, there's these Voron generic. All of my user presets were based on that. Now, if you go in to filament presets, there is no longer a Voron option for any of that. Thank you. So while I have this, because it's the only computer that I did not have updated to Orca 2.3. 2.3, they did away with it. The Voron things. So now I'll just build these over onto a generic profile. And do that. The only reason these still exist because I built them on a Polymaker one and a generic one. But let me take a look at what you DM'd me here. Slicer profiles. What does it say? All right. So let me see. Yeah, I think I have it. So let me add a printer. Bamboo X1. Wish I had a bamboo. All right. File, import. Yeah, definitely has some configs in here. ABS-CF, big parts. Let's take a look. Holy cow! What he does? He makes his own filament. He's got an extrusion line. Come over here. All right, so we're gonna put some sauce on these. sauce. Uh, his family OEMs for a few big companies, and he sells the same stuff to Aussies. Nice. Tell him to send me some. I want to check it out. I'm just looking here uh, at his profiles. He's got some glass filled. No, no, no. Stop it. So he's got ABS, glass filled, carbon fiber, ABS, ABS wood, PCCF. I want to try that PET-CF filament. Anyway, so I'm gonna go grab hot dogs to throw those on. I'll be right back. All right, let's throw some hot dogs on here. Then when these hot dogs are done, we're gonna call it a day. Um, but in the meantime, let's build a couple of these filament profiles back up. All right, so we need to go in here. We're going to start with what's up, Smalls?
I think there's just like lump in my shoulder, and it hurts. Like it's making it hurt to me.
I don't know.
How much longer till dinner's done?
Shouldn't be too long. That's a pretty good price, man. No, I was joking. I would not expect somebody to send me filament from Australia. I wouldn't expect somebody to send me filament from anywhere, honestly. All right, so let's Go over here. Start with a generic ABS. What do I have for shrinkage? Or 9.4. To 70. Chamber temp. 30. Nozzle. 110. 10. 24. Cooling. Let's see. No cooling for the first. Is that what I have for everything? Yep. No cooling for first one layer. Full fan speed at layer 4. Yeah, I have to see what shipping would cost. I'd definitely try it out. Save as ABS. So for standard flow is 12. Save. Standard flow. Ultra high flow. $36. Now, oh, shit. I need to make all these dependencies as available for all mods. Save. 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 All right, now if I switch printers, they should still be there. Excellent, excellent. Now I can edit because this one has a cooling fan, auxiliary cooling. 36. Save. Ultra high flow. Oh, cool. All right, there we go. Gotta start. Compatible with everything. Save. All right, let me check these hot dogs. Cooking your hot dogs. Almost. Maybe in a little while. All right. Crap. I need to go get a charger for this. I'll be right back. I can't. I'm a little busy. So. All right. We're back. All right. So what other filaments do we have? I need a standard flow with an auxiliary cooling. For the V0. I need to run that one at like 70%. All right, then what else we got? All right, now we need a generic ASA profile. Generic ASA. We're going to change this to PDG in hopes that all this stuff just like saves. First layer 250. Other layers 240. One 10. Max flow rate of 11. Cooling. Four. $70. 30. 100. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check them out. I'm gonna look through them here. Right now, I've got them hidden for all my printers, and I just have to go in and change the dependencies to make them show up for all of my printers. This one is AMBR S. Okay. Yeah, let's take a look at these. Okay. So I need this exit off of here. And I need to change the printer to next one C. And then I can see these. So let's just grab his normal ABS profile and take a look at what he's got. So he's actually got his first layer cooler for his nozzle temp, and then it gets hotter. I like how you can change the bed cooling. No cooling for first 3 layers. Try this one. Yeah, he's got the first layer printing cooler. And he's printing hot. Try the ASA. Let's take a look at what he's got for that. He's printing ASA at 280 and 290. I don't know. I just downloaded it from that site you gave me. What's yours say? So go into your profile for normal ABS, and what's it say for first layer and other layers? I think I set it for having multiple different build points. Adaptive bed mesh. Support multiple build plates, yeah. So then I can could, yeah, nice. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope she feels better. Have a good one, man. All right, I think it's time to go check the state of the barbecue. We've got just a few more minutes. Anyway, so if you're still here, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Um, I know there's a bit of a whatever kind of stream, and I apologize. We'll get some projects going here shortly. Got to get a couple more parts, and then we'll start on 2.4 and switch wire and getting that night out set up and programmed. I was going to go grab parts I needed from KB3D, but they're out in Colorado, so couldn't grab that. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. All right, y'all, take it easy. We'll see you next time. Later.